So one area of my life that I've never been particularly proud of, and something that I have struggled with since the age of 13, is smoking cigarettes. And I have made countless attempts at giving up in the past. Some of those attempts have lasted a couple of days and others have lasted a couple of years. But I always find myself coming back to it. And there's always some kind of trigger in my brain that gets me to come back to cigarettes. So I'm recording this video because I'm planning on giving up again or quitting nicotine. And I want to take you guys on the process because I know there are millions of people around the world that all struggle with nicotine addiction, because that's what it is. If you're a smoker, then you are addicted to nicotine. That's the truth of it. I want to start by saying that I've never particularly liked the idea of or the phrase giving up cigarettes, because if you really think about it logically, there isn't anything to give up, right? When you smoke cigarettes, you know full well that it costs you a fortune, it makes your clothes smell, your breath smell, it affects your health. There are so many reasons why you shouldn't smoke, and we all know them, and they're printed across the packs of cigarettes that we buy every day, and we don't take any notice of those things. But if we really step back and objectively view it, there is only one truth from smoking cigarettes, and that is the fact that we are addicted to nicotine. And that is why we continue to smoke. There is no other reason, when you boil it down, other than the fact that you are trying to relieve the craving that nicotine started in the first place. And that's one reason. People always say that they get some kind of pleasure from cigarettes, and I've been in that camp as well. And I read a book called Alan Carr's Easy Ways to Stop Smoking, and it completely debunked this theory that I get any kind of pleasure from smoking. And it was this idea that if you've got a certain level of happiness, right? So let's say it's up here, and you start smoking cigarettes, so your level of happiness is going to drop just slightly down here. Now, when you smoke that first cigarette, nicotine is such a powerful drug, it gets in your bloodstream very quickly, and it normally drops, I think, to about half in the first hour, which is why most people end up smoking about 20 cigarettes a day. So let's say you smoke that first cigarette, and through the hour, your levels of happiness typically are going to start to decline because you're craving a cigarette. Now, you have to have another cigarette to get your levels back up to here. And so this idea that you're getting any kind of pleasure from cigarettes is completely wrong, because the cigarette created the craving in the first place that's making you miserable and irritable. And so if you can get it out of your system, then you'll find that your levels of pleasure are up here and typically stay up there without the need for smoking cigarettes. As I say, I've attempted many times to give up over the years. Sometimes I've used nicotine replacement therapy, so things like nicotine gums or patches, or vaping I've tried occasionally. If I'm honest, I don't think any of these things help. I think at the end of the day, if I'm addicted to nicotine, the only way I'm going to get it out of my system, or the fastest way I'm going to get it out of my system, is just to go cold turkey. And yeah, it's one of the most painful ways to do it, but it's also one of the shortest ways to do it. And I'd much rather go through a bigger degree of pain for a shorter period of time than to prolong the agony for months or in some cases years. You know, I know people that have been using vapes for years and years now, and I guess the jury's out on whether those things are safer than cigarettes or not. I personally don't think they are. I don't think we know enough about them, but that's an argument for another day. So my plan is, starting tomorrow, I'm going to quit cold turkey, and I'm going to take you guys on the journey with me. And maybe if you're considering quitting, or if you tried quitting in the past and it hasn't worked, maybe you'll find some value from that. So my plan is to record the process for the next maybe 30 days and to give you a daily update as this video goes on.